Let's take a look at a simple HTML document and learn how to edit it. And you'll see it's really very easy. So this is my web page, and I can click on a simple HTML document. I hope you've already checked out the super simple HTML document. So now we're ready for the simple. So this is a web page, really. I mean, it has a whole bunch of elements. These are called headings. These are just some paragraphs. This is a list of items. Here's another list. I have an image on my web page. I have stuff in a table, and then I have a scrolling. These are called marquees. Not used too often, but you can put this on your web page if you like. So as you already know, if I right button click on this, I can look at the HTML source code, and you already know that all web pages are created using HTML, so I'm going to look at the source to this. That's it. It's not that complicated. So I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to hit Control A and copy it. Control C is copy into Notepad++, and I will paste it in there. Control V is paste. And hopefully you remember that when you save this, well, I'm reminding you, so I'm going to go File, Save As. You have to save it, and I'll call it Simple HTML. And you have to change this from file type text to file type HTML. I'm going to say this again. You must change this from text to HTML, and here I'm going to select Hypertext Markup Language. And I'm going to save it right on my desktop, and I'll hit save. And you can see that the colors have changed to signify that it understands this code right here. So let's modify this a little bit, and we can run it. So again, you know already that HTML documents begin with this funny looking tag, and then within that there's a beginning HTML tag, and at the very end all tags end with a /. So this is the end of my HTML document. Within that I have the head section, this very small section. Within that I have a title. The title actually shows up on the tab. It's not actually part of your web page. We're going to focus on this body section of the HTML document. Here's the beginning of it. Here's the end of it. And you know, we're not really going to spend that much time working with HTML, because if you want to find out a new tag, you're just going to look it up. Anyway, the body, it's pretty obvious what this does. It says style, background color, light blue. Underneath it, I have a couple of things called comments. Now, you'll see this will not actually show up on the web page. As a matter of fact, let me run this right now. So if I select Run, I'm going to launch it in Chrome. I can select from a few browsers, but oops, I'm going to launch it in Chrome. And there it is. Now, let me move this to the side a little bit. Oops. All right. So here I am, and let me maybe move this over a little bit. So actually, I think I opened the wrong thing. There we go. So this is the web page, and I always like to use a little split screen like this. This is the web page that it results from this. Notice these things in green, these are called comments. They don't actually show up on my page. Here's how you make various headings. I can have H1, and I think you can number headings all the way down to H6. We could try that. I could say, let me just copy and paste. So I could see that's H4. I could check out to see what H5 looks like. Now the only difference between these different heading numbers are that it changes the font size. So here's heading 5 and here's heading 6. And if I save that and then refresh, you can see that each new heading is even a little bit smaller. And I don't think that there is such a thing as heading 7, number 7. But anyway, you can put headings wherever you like on your page. This P stands for paragraph, so here's a paragraph, here's another paragraph. I could add paragraphs if I wanted to. The BR is a break. It just causes a line break. It says this is a numbered list. Here it is showing up on the page right here. This is a numbered list. And then underneath it, I have it says OL stands for the beginning of an ordered list. Here are the items in my list: apples, bananas, oranges. I could add something to my list if I wanted to. I'll copy and add something else. Oops, I think I copied too much there. Okay, so let's add, I don't know, pizza, of course. So if I refresh this, save, refresh, it added pizza to the end of my ordered list. Well, I guess I already had pizza on my unordered list. This is how you create an unordered list. The beginning of the unordered list, the end of it, and these are the items, list item, end of list item, and so forth. Here is an image, and I'm glad that this happened actually. We'll talk about this. Here's an image. It says, I'm using a heading 4 to say here's an image. And it says, let me scroll down a little bit. The source of the image, this is the name of the image, is pizza. I never know whether to say GIF or GIF. And the style is width 150. These are pixels, height 150. And you can see it says the alternate. In other words, if the picture doesn't show up, it's going to write the word pizza, which is in fact what it wrote there. So why did the picture not show up is the question. Well, the picture did not show up because I did not save the picture in the same file as I saved this simple HTML. Remember, in this example, I saved it on my desktop, but I did not save the pizza image on my desktop. So let's go back to my web page here. Here's my web page. And if I go back to the simple HTML, you can see here is my pizza image. If I right button click on this and I save the image as pizza on my desktop, because that's where this file is. Let me save that, and hopefully that's saved. Hopefully that worked. And then if I refresh this, in fact, there is my pizza. And actually, we can peek back here. The pizza is now saved on my desktop, so there it is showing up. So let me just say this one more time. If you want to put pictures on your web page, which I know you're going to, you have to save those pictures in the same folder. This is going to be your classes folder, of course. You have to save it in the same folder as the web page file, as the HTML file, and then it'll work. So here's some stuff in a table. Here's the beginning of my table, the end of my table. You can see I'm saying the border is supposed to be one that's a very thin border. I could make it thicker. I could make a border of 10 if I want to, and just see what this looks like. So let me refresh. Wow, that's a thick border now. And you can see that it's taking up 50% of the page. I could make it take up 75% or 100%. And so if I save that and refresh it, it takes up more space now. This is a row in my table, and these are cells in the table. Beginning of the row, end of the row, and these are 3 little cells in the table. Math, science, English, there it is. At the end of the row, another row, and so forth. And I can add as many rows as I want. And finally, here I have a marquee. It says, hi there, and it scrolls, and notice it only takes up 20% of the screen. So there's my marquee. So HTML is really pretty simple, and you can really just play around with the tags and see what happens. But I suggest starting with a document like this, playing around, saving, and then refreshing, and you can see how that changes your page. So that's it for now, and I hope you'll take a look at some of the HTML sources that I posted on my webpage. Okay?